One of the characters is nicknamed Little Badger. Do you have a nickname that your friends call you, or that your co-workers call you?
You mean in real life?
Mhm. You don't have to. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. It's fine.
I have it, but it's terrible. I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
All my friends would laugh when I say it, if I would say it, but it's actually it's a joke. But I'm not gonna. But
that's fine.
Anybody who watches the interview who knows me knows exactly what it is.
There we go. I just post in the comments what it is. Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watcher Pass. Today I'm joined by Daniel Bernhardt, the star of Hell Hath No Fury, which is coming to theaters on November 5th, 2021, and to digital on November 9th, 2021. We're going to talk to him in just a second, but first let's check out the trailer, and while you're watching, if you can like and subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. It helps me out a lot. Thank you.
You want to tell us where that gold is? Maybe we can all go home.
I'm doing my best to remember. I promise.
If I were you, I'd keep real still, Marie.
When the fighting is over, freedom.
Then we're going to tar and feather that girl. She begged us to help her. Promised the major buried treasure.
We don't find that gold by sundown. This will not end nicely for you.
Don't you see? She's using you.
One clever trickster, Marie.
Maybe we put down these guns. We all get a little piece of that gold. We got a deal?
No more deals.
Thanks so much for joining me. This is Daniel Bernhardt, who plays Von Buchner in Hell Hath No Fury, which is coming
Von Buchner.
Von Buchner. I could not do German, so I will go with the Americanized accent. Hell Hath No Fury, which comes to theaters on November 5th, 2021, and digitally on November 9th, 2021. It is a World War II film that touches on some topics that you don't normally see in big, Hollywood type movies, and it has action, but it also has a lot more drama. So thank you so much for joining me.
It's my pleasure. I was writing down some notes.
Oh, perfect. Well, the more the merrier.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm super proud of this movie. It's a little movie that we made through COVID. Everybody just gave everything. And I want to first say, I am so grateful to Jesse that he gave me the opportunity to do this film. I mean, what a role, right? What a role. And I remember, the way Jesse and I met, we had some mutual friends who both kept saying to me and him, hey, you guys should meet. I think you guys would totally hit it off. So Jesse and I met and just totally hit it off. Talked about movies for hours, about fight scenes, about action, about drama, about scripts, about actors we like, and just connected very well. And then he said, hey, listen, I would love to work with you one day. When I find something that's right, I'll let you know. I said, sure. And that happens a lot in our business. Mm-hmm. And you kind of forget about it and you just move on. And then I remember getting the call from him saying, hey, Daniel, I actually found something I think you're absolutely right for. And I would love to do that. I would love to work with you on that film. And at the time, the script was called Ave Marie. And I read the script and I was just blown away. Blew me away. What a character. And then I got a little nervous. I was like, oh my God, he speaks French. Oh my God, all these monologues in German. Oh my God. And I used to be fluent in French. I mean, I speak fluent German, but the French was kind of like, took me a long time to learn the French, but I did. I had a friend helping me. The German is not that hard for me because I speak it fluently, but I have a different accent. So I had to actually change my accent in the German. And then I had to work on my English with a German accent because I've worked so hard to lose it. So I had to bring it back. So I probably spent 2 months preparing for that movie. Oh, wow. But it was COVID, so we had time.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, when I talked to Jesse, it sounded like this film kind of came together randomly and didn't have a ton of time to prep. So I'm glad that you had 2 months to do that, because that's a lot to do in even 2 months, even with all the COVID time we have.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say what I kind of remember is, if I'm not mistaken, I remember it to be like 2 months for me. From the first time that we talked about the script till we shot, maybe it was 6 weeks, maybe. But Jesse was just absolutely fantastic. You know, he's such a generous director. He's such a great filmmaker. And I think one of his absolute gifts is finding great scripts and casting the right people. Like if you look, I think the lady who played the lead actress, Nina Bergman, she was absolutely killed it. And I thought she did such a great job. And I thought Louis Mandylor was fantastic. Tim Murphy was fantastic. I mean, everybody in this film, even like this guy, Dominiquie Vandenberg, who I kind of knew, but not really. I was blown away how good he was. I called him after when I saw the movie. I said, dude, you fucking killed it. and I thought there's really nothing, there's no bad actor in this movie. It's just really, really strong. And that's really a lot of credit to Jesse. Jesse was our leader. He kept that whole ship driving, and he helped us with the characters. Now, of course, we have ideas and we put input, but in the end, you know, he is our leader and he had this great vision for the film, and we just come and play.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I think that all the characters were really, really well cast. It's funny that you mentioned that you had to kind of brush up on your French. When I talked to Nina, she didn't speak French before this film. She like learned French for this movie, and I was like, that is amazing. That is commitment.
I know, she's a very, very good actress, and she works really, really hard. I think I remember we were doing the read-through, and I met her for the first time, and you know, it was very, you know, that's a very, very important part in the movie, and it was very important that that relationship worked well. And at the time, she wasn't cast. So when we did the read-through, she just helped out to the read-through, and when we did it after the read-through, I went to Jesse. I said, she's fucking great. Yeah, there's maybe somebody else. I said, you're crazy. She's great. And then all the other actors totally pushed for her as well. And then, of course, she ended up in the movie. I mean, how many ladies do you know? How many actresses you know on screen just shave their head? I mean, incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I would be nervous to do that on screen. I probably would, you know, look normal with a shaved head. Like that is a rough scene to film, because you get like one take, right? Like you can't really go back and redo it.
I'm actually more nervous for the guy who has to do it.
Yeah, seriously.
You know, the guy's going, oh my God, oh no, don't do it now. No, she committed. She did an incredible job in the movie. She was a very strong actress. Of course, helped me a lot because she's a very good actress. She's very involved in the character. It pushed me. I mean, she definitely pushed me to become better.
And so, you know, speaking of your character, I thought it was interesting that like you play a villain, but and clearly you are a villain in this film, but the movie gives you and like your and Marie's relationship some more, I guess, foundation than I would have expected in a World War II movie where you have a Nazi in there. So I thought that was an interesting thing as well, to see kind of both you as the terrible villain, but then also you in like the home life where it, you know, aside from the fact that your character's a Nazi, and it looked very normal, like very almost loving.
So what I did, I mean, it's very kind of you to say that. You know, what I tried to do with this character is, you know, he's not a bad guy. It was bad times. It was terrible times. It was bad for everybody. I had to do what I had to do to survive, but I fell in love with Marie, and all I wanted is to escape with her. And I mean, if you recall, I stole from the Nazis. I stole from my own people to run away with her. And there's a little secret, which I don't want to say too much about it, but you haven't seen the movie, you will understand. There's a scene at the very end and something happens. And she's the only one I actually allowed to do that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
So because it was for everything I've done in the war, because it was tough. It was tough for everybody, you know, it was tough for me. And I was not the political SS. I was the SS who had to go fight the war.
Yeah, the fighter, yeah, the fighting SS, or the fighters, I guess. Yeah. And I thought, you know, it's interesting that you mentioned that, you know, it was war, like people did what they needed to do. I thought it was interesting in this film, you know, Marie's character, there are like three distinct sides, and I couldn't tell throughout the film like who was the good and who was the bad. Normally in like a World War II movie, it's very black and white. It's like, you know, Americans, French, good, Nazis, bad. But in this one, it felt like everyone had like good and bad aspects to them, especially towards her character. I think that's a testament to all the actors and also the script as well.
I think we all just wanted to survive.
Yeah.
we all wanted it to end and survive, especially my character. You know, I found the love of my life in the film, in the story, and I wanted to escape with her. That's all I wanted.
Mhm.
And of course, I wanted to survive, you know.
And so this is based on a true story, but I think it's, according to a couple of people, it's kind of loosely based. Like Marie was a real person, and her story did happen, but there's this kind of an amalgamation of different stories. Had you heard of Marie and her plight before? I can't imagine you had, because it does seem like an amazing story, but one of many amazing stories that just hasn't gotten told yet.
100%, absolutely.
Were you, and was von Buchner, was that a real, like a general, or I guess it wasn't a general, I think it was a sergeant?
I forgot what I played. I was a Hauptsturmführer. I forgot which rank I was, but I wasn't I forgot what it was. It was how.
Yeah, definitely not a general up there, because you were in the field.
I think I was a Sturmbahn. In German, it's called Sturmbahnführer.
Okay.
I wasn't very high up. I was kind of like in between. I was like the fighting Nazi. You know what I mean? But of course, you know, it's if you watch the movie, it's a love, to me, it's a love story. Mm-hmm. And then even at the end, when I don't know if I don't want to give too much away, when we meet again, it's you know,
it's a tense scene, but you can tell that there is care there, that there is a lot of emotion there. Yeah, there's
a lot of care, because
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, people can see the movie.
I don't want to give anything away.
No, that makes sense. Yeah,
people are like, oh, I know the story now.
Yeah, no, there is a lot in this film, and a lot of facets to these characters that it's interesting to see. I've watched it a couple times, and you pick up on new things.
A couple of times.
I've got to prep for these interviews. I have to rewatch it just to make sure I can.
That makes me really happy. That's fantastic. I've seen it like maybe once or twice a long time ago. So I'm actually looking for. I don't really watch my own work, to be honest. I really don't. Mm-hmm. But they're having a screening. Their premiere is happening next week, and unfortunately, I can't go because I'm in Prague working. But that's actually a little bummer. And I know it's coming to theaters November 5th. November 5th is coming to theaters November 5th, and then streaming November 9th. So I'm super excited.
And I love that strategy, because then you can go if you're comfortable going to theaters, or you can stay home if you're not. But I think this film does have enough effects that if you're comfortable, it would be a good thing to see in theaters, because there's not a ton of action, but the action is very well done.
Yeah, you know, Jesse comes from an action background, and so his action is always really good. But I think this story it has a little bit of everything. It's a little bit, there's a love story, there is action, there is a lot of drama. It looks beautiful, it's shot beautifully, it's performed beautifully. I think like I said earlier, I think everybody's really good. Like Lewis, I thought, did a really good job in the movie. Tim did a really good job. Mm-hmm. Nina killed it. Of course I can't talk about myself, but I
will speak for you. You did a very good job as well. Like trying to sell a Nazi that is also relatable, might be, or at least sympathetic, is tough to do. So, yeah. So I think the cast was really good. That was one thing I noticed as well. It's like it's a small cast, and sometimes you have characters that just don't really fit. But it did feel like everyone kind of organically fit into this world.
That's Jesse.
Yeah,
that's one of Jesse's gifts. You know, he is just so good with actors, and you can just tell he really cares. He really cares about his movies. Mm-hmm. He cares about his actors, and he was very open. Like, I made a very big decision. The thing I talked about earlier, that wasn't in the script. Mm-hmm. My thought that I will never, you know what I mean, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I went up to him and I said, you know what, Jesse, my character would never do that. I can't. I'd rather go.
Yeah.
You know? And he looked at me and he goes like, okay, I think that's a great choice. So we learned a lot through the film with the character.
And kind of speaking of the film and filming, if I remember right, this was filmed in LA. I think it was actually filmed in my hometown, Santa Clarita. But Jesse was talking about how there was this added kind of complexity with, he had to find the right actors who were also like within driving distance, because it was COVID, and so it was tough to kind of lock down. So did you happen to just be in LA, or did you
I just happened, I mean, it was COVID, you know, everybody was at home, and it was it is still COVID, but things have changed a lot. But it was just, listen, he calls you up, he gives you a script. I was like, sure, sign me on. We wear a mask, we have our shields, everybody got tested, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done so many projects in the COVID time, and I'm just very grateful that we're back to work. So if we have to wear a mask, I wear a mask. If I have to get tested, I get tested. So what?
Yeah, I think I've talked to a lot of people who have worked during COVID, and it's like after you get over kind of the uncertainty of how everything will work, like once all the protocols are in place and people have isolated, everyone's been very happy because you're just back to work and you're back to doing, you know, what you love with people. Like being surrounded by people was a nice change.
This is what we do. This is what we live. This is what I live for. I mean, I was dying being at home and trying to fix the house or clean up. I'm like, all right, that's maybe good for like a month or two. And then I'm like, I'm done. I want to go back to work. It's just because I'm very passionate about what I do. I love what I do. I'm very fortunate I can do what I do. And I'm just still lucky that I can still work. You know, people still call. It's great. I'm so excited about that. And, you know, right now I'm in Prague and I'm working again.
Yeah, that's who would have thought a year ago, right?
Say it one more time.
Who would have thought a year ago, right? You'd be in Prague, like that the world would have be getting back to normal. It's not back to normal by any means, but at least it's moving in that direction.
But it's taking a big step. And, you know, I remember the second everything started to calm. I did a big movie by the end of 2020. Like I started to go to Berlin to do a movie like late summer 2020.
Oh, wow.
And it was just when COVID kind of was here, and then it just changed a little bit. So I got a chance to go to Berlin. They opened up Berlin. I shot a movie in Berlin, and then it got bad again. And then I came back to LA, and then something else. Then I did another movie. The second the business opened, it was incredible what's happened. Nobody's available. You trying to get somebody, it's impossible. Everybody's busy because there's so many productions going on right now. It's so good that we're back to work. I'm so happy.
Yeah, it feels like maybe everyone was planning their projects during COVID, and once it kind of opened up, everyone's like, all right, let's go. Like everything's in place. Let's do it.
Yeah.
You mentioned a little bit about the prep that you did for your character. This is my like naive Americanness, but when you mentioned that you had to get the right accent in German, I was like, that does make sense, but I would have never thought like that you'd have to have the right German accent, right? Because German just sounds like German to me.
Well,
but, you know,
so I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Sorry.
No, go ahead if you want to speak about that. I was going to ask you that.
Yeah. So for me, I was born and raised. So this is getting very complicated. Born and raised in Switzerland. I speak Swiss German.
Got it.
Okay. My parents are German. With my parents, I speak High German with a Schwäbisch accent, which is the region where my mother is from. It's not High German. It's High German with a very specific accent. It would be like, in American terms, it would be like speaking Texan, Texan dialect. Yeah. So, but my character would have spoken more English, a German, not with a Swiss accent, which I had a little bit. So I can only do the dialect I've mentioned, the Schwäbisch, I can only do with my mother and my father. It's weird.
Yeah.
I cannot do it. If my mom is here and here's another German person, with my mother, I speak Schwäbisch, German with a Schwäbisch accent. With this person, I speak German with a Swiss accent.
That's amazing.
So in my German, I have a slight Swiss accent. So I had to lose the Swiss accent and speak what's called High German. It's called Hochdeutsch. And I had to work hard on that. It took me weeks and weeks and weeks, repetition, I had other people read it, listening to the voice, how it sounds, and say the words right.
That's amazing dedication.
I actually had to translate my own dialogue. So they wrote everything in English. So I had to translate it. And even the translation, I was like, God, I haven't lived here for 25 years. And I actually had to call people and say, how do you say that again? My sentence structure is all off. Yeah. Because what I do now, I speak, when I translate German, I translate German how I would speak English. And it's completely German. It's the other way around. So it got very complicated. It took me a long time.
But again, like that is some dedication to like it's almost like extracurricular activities that you have to do. But it probably help you prep, but then also that's a lot of extra
A lot
work
of
that
a
you
lot
have
of
to
work.
put on your shoulders.
I probably worked every day 8 hours on that project. Every
Oh,
day.
wow.
Every day. I would go to the gym in the morning and spend like 4 hours or 4 hours in the morning to go to the gym, then spend another 4 hours and reading and dialect and voice exercises. And yeah, it was something else.
And that is like, when everyone's thinking of like, oh, what am I going to do during COVID? It's like work out and then, improve your mind. And everyone said that. I don't know how many people did it. It sounds like you actually did that. You you did the COVID plan, I guess.
Yeah, I did a lot of house cleaning, garage cleaning, wasn't too successful at it.
Hey, you tried. That's the important thing.
I tried. And yeah, I was just looking, just always being ready, looking for the next gig. And once the business opened, I am just very fortunate. I've done a bunch of projects already and I just hope it keeps going.
And one thing your character has like a trademark almost. He has this weapon. It's like a pistol with like a sniper stock. Was that in the script, or was that something that
That's Jesse.
Okay, that's Jesse.
Jesse is an absolute fan of World War II. He loves history. He loves war movies. He even gave me a light. Like my character had a lighter. Like I wanted to get this lighter. That's a real lighter from that time, and I actually found through a friend this lighter from the 40s. A buddy of mine got it for me that I actually use in the scene to light my cigarette. And then he found a real belt buckle that was actually from the time that he gave to me as a gift that he wanted me to wear from that time.
Oh, wow.
It was incredible. So Jesse, and that weapon was very special to him. He explained it to me. He goes, Daniel, you got to train with it. It's very complicated. And it was very complicated. It's a very complicated weapon. And you see a scene where I actually put it together. And it took me like probably an hour to figure out to get smooth with it,
Oh, wow.
He was like, I got it on the day. I was like, what?
Well, yeah, and your character looks very like a very comfortable maneuver. So yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah, I had an hour time to prep, but I'm pretty good with weapons and I'm pretty experienced with action. So I just did it 100 times.
Perfect.
Let it 100 times.
And another kind of trademark in this movie, not your character, but those gold bars were kind of stunning in how beautiful and nuanced they were. What was it like holding those? How heavy were they? I think your character doesn't handle them that much, but I think you do handle them a little bit. What was it?
Yeah,
what was that like?
I think I was like, I want to take one home.
I told Jesse that they should have done that everyone should have gotten one as like
I said, I want one of those. I want one of those. I actually really like gold. I was like, I want one of those. I'm like,
no one of those. So I know we have limited time, so I want to switch. I call it the lightning round. It's just lightweight questions kind of about the film. I want to see how your experiences relate to things that happen in the film. You can feel free not to answer any of them. I won't be offended at all, but I try to keep them very answerable.
Yeah.
So first question is, before this movie, and I imagine you probably have with your acting career, have you ever fired any World War II weapons?
Fired any World War II weapons? You know what? Maybe. Because I did a movie in Russia, I did a war movie in Russia, and we had these old Kalashnikovs, which could have been from World War II. So maybe, I'm not sure.
We'll go with that.
That's a maybe.
Would you rather have a pistol or a rifle?
I think I like a pistol. I really like pistols.
It's easier to carry, easier to manage.
Yeah, but it's also faster. You're also more movable.
Yeah. Could you have made some of those shots? Because those shots that your character made were pretty spectacular. Could you have made some?
I'm actually a good shot. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'm actually a good shot. I shoot a lot out at Terran Tactical, and he was actually surprised. He goes like, "Oh, you're actually a good shot. You're actually a good shooter." I don't shoot a lot, but I actually have a pretty natural eye for shooting.
Very nice. Well, if acting ever falls through, if the COVID apocalypse happened, you would have been perfectly situated. You were in physical shape, and you could defend yourself. So
yeah.
One of the characters is nicknamed Little Badger. Do you have a nickname of sorts?
Say that one more time.
One of the characters is nicknamed Little Badger. Do you have a nickname that your friends call you, or that your co-workers call you?
You mean in real life?
You don't have to. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. It's fine.
I do have. I have it, but it's terrible. I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
All my friends would laugh when I say it if I would say it, but it's actually a joke. But I'm not gonna. But
that's fine.
Anybody who watches the interview who knows me knows exactly what it is.
There we go. I just post in the comments what it is. So again, going back to the little badger, what animal would you say that you are similar to?
That's interesting. You know, it's a very interesting question you're asking, because every character I play, I kind of relate it to an animal.
Oh, interesting.
Huh. I'm working with actors today, and I just have that speech with them. Like in The Matrix, my character was a bull. Here Perfect. I was a panther.
You're a panther?
Panther.
That makes sense. That is right.
Yeah.
Very sleek, very dangerous, but also quiet. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and fast.
Yep. So your character in this film has a very pronounced
scar.
Wolf.
Maybe a wolf.
A wolf?
Maybe a wolf.
A wolf works as well.
Yeah.
I think I like panther though. That's much more
maybe
exotic.
panther. Huh?
Yeah. In this film, your character has a very pronounced scar. Do you have scars or noticeable scars?
Surgery. I have one here. I had a big shoulder surgery. I have one on my knee. I had knee surgery. I had surgery when I broke my appendix when I was 3 months old.
Oh, ouch.
3 months. So I had appendix surgery when I was 3 months old. So the scar is really skinny but very long.
Yeah.
I actually just had knee surgery 4 weeks ago on my left knee, but that was just two little holes. That's it. Yeah.
4 weeks of knee surgery and you're already back to work. That is impressive.
A lot of rehab. I'm very good with my rehab.
Very good. So in this movie, Marie, Nina's character, has to go undercover for a lot of it. Have you ever had to go undercover, not in like an acting sense, or maybe you've gone to like a premiere, kind of trying to be undercover? Have you ever had to go undercover?
Undercover right now.
Oh, there you go.
Right now.
Try not to be noticed in Prague.
Like,
perfect. Have you ever used a metal detector to find some buried treasure or some sort of metal object?
Actually, you know what? I think I did once in Miami. I think I did. I lost a watch and I was like, oh my God. And I think I did. I'm not sure if I did, but I think I did.
Well, you can check. Do you have that watch still? Maybe.
No, I lost it in the ocean.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I guess it wasn't a good metal detector, but that's a perfect place to use it. So
yeah.
What is the most valuable thing that you have lost and potentially found later?
I have no clue. No clue.
So many things that have been lost.
Can't even think. I mean, I'm like such a scatterbrain. I lose so many things. I'm like,
there you go.
It would take me 20 minutes to think about it, and I go, maybe find one thing. Don't know.
And the last question is, actually, I have two more questions. One more question. Have you ever had to wear like a uniform in your, I don't know, like acting, you're always wearing a uniform, but maybe outside of acting, have you ever had to wear like a uniform for another job or some other endeavor?
No, only in acting, because I've worn a uniform, but it was for work. I was a model. I mean, I'm sure I wore something that looked like a uniform, and then acting, but otherwise, no.
Well, that fits perfectly with your career, so that makes sense. And the last question is, do you have any gold on you right now?
I did earlier back in LA. I love gold.
Just gold chains, just all over.
No, not gold chains. I go gold tiny. I like these tiny gold bars. I think they're very cool. Actually, I do have gold.
Oh,
yes, I do. You want to see?
Sure. Let's see. Interactive.
Yeah, I do have gold, and I almost forgot about it.
Oh, that is a beautiful watch. Love it.
It's rose gold.
There you go.
It's a brand I represent. I'm an ambassador for Karloff Bucherer. It's my favorite watch, and I always have it with me in case I have to go to an event or dinner. Isn't it beautiful?
That is yeah, that is impressive. I love the
real
look. Yeah,
that's real gold.
And it's hefty too. It looks like a watch that you're gonna
It's a big watch.
Yeah. Well,
It's
there you go.
46.7 millimeters. It's a big watch.
Oof. That would just look comical on me. So, Well, awesome. So the film is out, as we said, on November 5th, 2021 in theaters, and November 9th, 2021. You're promoting it, and you're clearly working. So after this film comes out, what else can people look forward to seeing you in? I mean, Matrix is something coming up, or is there anything else that people can keep on?
I forgot. Somebody actually reminded me. I have a little film come out. I just have a little part in it called Red Notice, which is on Netflix with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. And I'm very fortunate to have a little part in Matrix 4, which I'm very blessed to be in. And I just finished the movie. I just worked on a movie called Lou, which is coming out soon too. So I've been very, very fortunate, very lucky that I'm working. I'm very grateful.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it's you talk to so many people in the industry, and it was such a difficult time. I'm really glad to hear that it's opening up and that you're staying busy. That's fantastic news.
And I'm very grateful. And thank you for your time. And I really appreciate you giving us the time and pushing the movie and helping us out. And, so I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Of course. No, I love this. Like I tell people, I see so many movies and so few of them I can talk to people about. So I just love talking to people about the movies I've seen because it's.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah. It's so cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
All the best. Hell Hath No Fury.
Hell Hath No Fury. That was Daniel Bernhardt talking about Hell Hath No Fury, which is coming to theaters on November 5th, 2021 and digital on November 9th, 2021. It's a World War II film that has a little more drama and intrigue than you think you expect, but it still has some good action. If you like this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. And please check out my other content. I have other interviews, movie reviews, unboxing videos, and a weekly movie recommendation. Thank you.